Hi, everybody. It's Kelly and Heather with Real Conversations with Kelly. Today, we are going to talk about the hidden truth of staying the same and why action is the only thing is going to actually create a different life for you. You can listen to the podcast, you can read the books, you can become incredibly aware. But at some point, you are going to have to make the move. And most people don't struggle with knowing, they struggle with doing. So the action part of it, moving, doing something. We are going to talk about 4 points. And our first point is about awareness without action keeps you stuck.
Yeah, let's have a
Whew.
little reality check here.
Yes. Yes. And and people think awareness is progress, and it really isn't. It's only the beginning. So you know already you need to change, and you're still living in the exact same life this year as you were last year. One of my favorite people that I follow, KCB, Kathleen Cameron, she said this line the other day, and it was so amazing. She said, "You cannot learn to swim by reading a book." Oh my gosh.
Think about it. You can get the theory, you can get the how-tos, but if you don't ever get your feet wet, then you're never going to learn.
Right. And you got to get in the water. You have to get in the water. And that's the shift from thinking to doing. So
It's
it's like getting out of your brain and like just going, okay, I'm going to go do it.
right. I
Um,
I picture people that are sitting underneath a tree, and don't get me wrong, I love awareness. We are great proponents of that and inner reflection and the ability to know yourself better. However, if all you're doing is awarenessing, if that's even a word, then you really aren't going to progress. You really aren't going to do anything about it because you're just going to sit underneath your tree with your hands folded and just humming your favorite mantra or tune or whatever and expect your life to change, but it's really not going to change.
mhm.
So, yes, the shift from thinking to doing is so huge. My example, my all-time example that I give all the time of this is the conferences that I used to love to go to. So that is me sitting underneath the tree, humming my favorite mantra because I used to thrive on going to every conference that would come into town, every motivational speaker, because really I was working at a time that I wanted some change in my life. I wanted to know who I was a little bit deeper. And so I would listen to all these things, although I never went to a Tony Robbins. Did you ever go to Tony Robbins when they came into town, Kelly?
Well, I can tell you that I did Tony Robbins' first fire walk.
Oh, you did. Wow, that is
I
pretty
did at the
cool.
Hyatt Regency DFW in 1993.
Oh my gosh. That was a long time ago, but how cool is that? I don't know
Yes.
why. I don't know why I never
Mhm.
went, but I never did. But I did used to go to this same person every year that he would come and sitting there one year and he said, 5 years ago, what were you doing? And oh my gosh, the realization that I was almost to the date in the exact same seminar, the exact same front row, maybe the exact same chair, who knows, but pretty dang close. So
Mhm.
literally, that was me reading a book, trying to learn how to swim and not actually getting my feet wet. So that's my story of becoming aware and progressing nada. How about you? What's yours? We all have them. No shame.
Oh gosh. Okay. I I had a dream to hang glide, and I'm not sure why, but I
Because
did.
you're a thrill seeker.
Yes, I love that thrill seeking. And I literally went out and I bought 2 books. And I literally absorbed them. I embodied them. I felt like I was jumping off the cliff, and they told me how to turn and how to move, and if you caught a wind that you needed to lift. And I mean, I'm explaining it to you now, and it's been probably 20, 25 years since I've done it, since I've read it. And so, it's like, okay, and if you get a current, do you lift to the right or the left? It depends on where the wind comes from. And so I read all these books, and then I thought, okay, I'm going to go out and just get one more book, and I'm going to read it. So I read the last book, and I mean, these books were like 200 pages, small print. And did I go and hang glide? No, I did not. I did not at all. So I learned how to hang glide, but I never did it.
Good gosh. Do you regret it?
I do. I do, because I see people hang gliding these days. When I lived in Tahoe, I would see them jump off the side of Mount Rose, or, gosh, the back of Heavenly. And they would come down into where I lived, because I lived in the valley for a little while. And I would see them just hang gliding. And they would just go all over the place, because it was, they would catch the wind.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, I really want it. And I made up every excuse I could. It's too expensive. Nobody will let me do it. I don't know anybody that does it. I'm the only one that does it. Well, no, I'm not, because somebody just jumped off the mountain.
Right? Right? Isn't that
I should have,
crazy?
right.
The excuses
Mhm.
that we give yourself, as you said, I'm the only one that wants to do it. I'm the only one that's going to do it. Oh my gosh, it's so not true. But what I do know you did is I do believe you jumped out of a plane, which I
Yes. Oh, I jumped
never.
out of a plane many, 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 many
Ugh,
times.
yeah, never. So what was the
Yes.
difference? What made the difference between the hang gliding and jumping out of a plane? Or was it a simple fact of didn't do that? I'm going to do this.
It's interesting because it never came to mind.
Huh.
Like, the hang gliding never came to mind. I jumped out of a plane because I always wanted to jump out of a plane, a perfectly good plane, by the way. Um,
Please.
it just was thrill seeking, and the difference between hang gliding and jumping out of a plane, parachuting, is you literally control and glide with hang gliding, and so you get to actually enjoy the fall. And when you jump out of a plane, you are falling so fast that your cheeks are like, and you've got
Right.
glasses on, so that your, eyeballs don't fall out. You're just, and somebody's on your back, and you're like, okay, it's ready to pull, 1, 2, 3, and then you pull it, and the parachute goes up, and then
Hmm.
you come down, and you have like maybe, I don't know, 25, 30 seconds of falling with the
Wow.
parachute, and then
Yeah.
you get down. To where hang gliding, you can hang glide for an hour.
Oh, really? I guess it's all about
Yes,
the wind and the
it
updrifts
is.
and so
It's
forth.
all about the wind and the air temperature and barometric pressure, a lot. Yeah. See, I can just go into it right now. So, so taking action, if I had taken action on hang gliding, I probably would feel a little different. Jumping out of the plane? Yeah, I did that. I mean, I jumped once, and then I jumped 5 more times. And then I went back the next week. And then I went back the next week. And then I went back the next week. It was
Wow.
wonderful. And I was almost there until I could jump out by myself. And then I was like, no, I think I'm good.
You're good.
And then I was done. So it's the don't learn how to swim by a book, jump in the water and go for it. Love that analogy. Love that. Thank you, KCB.
That's right.
Thank you so much. All right.
Because the
So our
point of all
next,
that is
yes, you are the only one who can change your life. You're the only one. Gotta take ownership, and it needs to be clear. Got to. No one is going to come in and do it for you. No one. No one's going to come in and tell you what to do. No one's going to come in and pass you a book and say, okay, well, if you read this, this is what you're going to need to do. Mm-mm. No, not your partner, not your friends, nobody, not your coach, not a podcast. Nobody is going to come in and do anything for you. So,
being a trainer for the last, oh gosh, I don't know, now 30 years or so. When I was in the gym, which I'm not in the gym anymore, I'm in a clinic, but when I was first starting out and in the gym, I had a kind of a superpower. I literally could peg the people who are actually going to make the most change. And of course, you guessed it, it's those that are going to show up when they weren't with me and they were actually going to do the work. They're the ones that made the lasting changes, and the other ones who didn't, they fell by the wayside. And now I do a lot more corrective exercise work, but it still is the same thing. The people who come to me who want to get out of pain, pretty much everybody is coming with some pain things that happen. And once again, those that are actually going to get out of pain are the ones that are going to do the work. Because what I find is those who don't really want to, who are want to just continue to stay in the plane, stay reading the book, they want me to do the work for them. Me to massage the leg, me to stretch out the back, me to hold the elbow up in a certain position. And the sad thing about it is, gosh, if they would just do the stuff at home, we could start in such a higher place every session that we would be. But instead, I have to backtrack a little bit. Now, don't get me wrong, I always tell them, and I'm very honest with them too. Twist my arm. You're paying me to do this, so I am here for you. But in the long run, I want you to fire me because I don't want you to need me anymore.
exactly.
But it's huge. Nobody is going to do the work for you, not your trainer. Because eventually I'm not going to be around to do that stretching leg thingy anymore. You got to do the work.
Yeah. And doing the work, gosh, like going to work out, like you've got to, like, if you want to go work out in the mornings, you got to get up early
Mhm.
and then you got to go to the gym. And
Yes, you do. Sorry, people who are not on the on YouTube, I'm holding two thumbs up. I'm a big
yes,
early morning workout person, and I want to see you people at the gym in the morning. Unless you're a night owl, I get you. But get your booty to the gym, or yoga, or the park, wherever.
right, right. And you're the only person that can leave what isn't working. You are the only person. And that's not harsh, that's empowering
Absolutely.
completely because it's on you and it's also available to you. I mean, you are the one that has to do it. You got to literally make sure that you are taking action.
So let's go over some excuses that people may have. Because a lot of people, I think, are going to think about these and go, oh, snap, I've said that a time or two. But I'm trying not to be too harsh. It's going to be empowering, but let's get a little truth reality here. What are some
Okay.
excuses that we hear?
I've given everything to everyone else.
Ugh, yep.
Mm, yes. You've spent years taking care of the kids. Now you're taking care of your parents. Now, you feel like you're disconnected, you're depleted of all your energy, and you feel a little invisible.
Mm.
I've felt invisible before. I really truly have. And gosh, and you keep saying to yourself, I don't have time for this.
Right.
I do not have time for me. That's big. That is so big. But the truth is, no one is going to hand you any more time.
We
No
all
one's
have the
going to
same
hand
amount
you
of
the
time.
time that you've been missing out on.
That's right. We all have the same amount of time during the day.
Right. Right. So you have got to create the space. You are the one, and it's always available to you. So you have got to take the first step. Okay. And if you don't choose yourself, no one else is going to choose it for you. No one else is going to choose you unless you choose yourself. It's
And
kind of like, do you love yourself enough to love somebody else?
yeah, I love that. And it's also, there's no shame in that.
No.
No guilt. There's no shame. Okay, next excuse. Uh-oh. Here we
Man,
go.
I know I need to take care of my health. If you know it, then do it. You feel it in your body. You know that your joints are creaking, and you know that you don't have the energy, and you've gained weight, and you feel it. I mean, you well, look at me. You feel it. And you go to pick up something and you're not as strong as you used to be, or you can't even open a can. And it's like, oh my gosh. And there's something that, she wants, and she's got to help. You have got to help yourself. You have to help yourself. Because if you look at yourself, you've just got to take the next step. And if you're waiting for motivation, the perfect time, and a plan that feels easy, then you're going to be waiting a long time. I can remember even saying that, saying, well, I'm going to wait. Let's see, I'm going to do this first, and then I'm going to do that.
Mm,
I'm going to go work out after I get done with this course, or after I move, or after I buy the car, and then I'm going to pay for the gym membership so that I can start working out.
right. There's always a perfect time, and that perfect time never happens. Now, to be truthful, we can't neglect the reasons of taking care of your hormones, looking at your the food sensitivities. There's a lot that goes on to women as we age. Of course there is, but that's not an excuse either. That literally is stop wasting time, get your stuff together, get your hormones checked, get your blood work done so that you really can see exactly where you're at so that you can move forward, so that you can get that motivation, so that you can have that perfect time to just get going. And you know what? It'll make it a lot easier when you're feeling better because you've taken care of your health.
Exactly. And so, oh my gosh, one of my favorite things that I think of is you don't have to eat the whole apple, you just have to take a freaking bite. That is all you have to do.
Take a bite.
Yes, yes. All right. So another example, I want more, but I don't know where to start.
I almost love
Taking
it
the
when
deep
women
breath.
get to this point, though, don't you?
Hmm.
Because it shows that they have started thinking about it
Hmm.
and are in the process of going, gosh, I do want more. However, without the action, we're still in a place that we can just use the excuse, I want more, but I don't know where to start.
Right, right. And she goes into overthinking, and that
Mm,
puts her in a stuck moment. And then, you're like, I don't have anyone to talk to about this. Nobody else knows what I'm going through. And you kind of feel like you're the only one out there, like you're on an island by yourself, but you really aren't. You really aren't because you are not alone. You are not alone. And you're not the only one experiencing this at all. And, really, you want to go from frozen to thawed out, girlfriend. Like, literally take it to that next level. So, and if you don't start, you're just going to idle like a car. Remember? You turn the car, it starts, and then it idles, and then you got to put it in drive. And if you
I
don't
do
put it
believe
in
there's
drive, you're
important
not
though.
going anywhere.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to talk
Okay.
over you there.
No. Mm-mm.
When you talk about that there's other people out there going through the same thing, this is where I think community is so important.
Mm.
Gather a group of people together, gather a group of women together. I don't care if it's the knitting club at church, wherever it is, gather some people around so that you can start talking about the things that you want, that we all
Mm-hmm.
want. Because as
Mm-hmm.
women, as we're listening to all these excuses, we just don't say it. We just don't say the
Mm-mm.
things that we want. And so they go by the wayside. You close the book and you put it back on the shelf.
Right. And why do that?
Yeah.
Because you want to literally, you can begin something, and if it's available to you, you can actually try something new. Just do it. Take the first step because clarity is not going to come to you first. That is for sure. And you might have to go down another path in order to get the true clarity that you were looking for. And don't get attached to the outcome at all because clarity comes around after the movement. So once you move, then you get very clear in what you are really truly wanting.
And then it makes sense.
Hmm.
I always think about the fly on the wall, right? If you could just be a fly on the wall, see how it all plays out, we would all be like, hallelujah, I knew it would be let. But we don't in the beginning. And so many people, just like the perfect time, they think they have the perfect plan. They have to be 100% clear on what it is that they want, the path they're going to take, and that becomes idle because you're never going to be 100% clear before you start. You just got to start because most of the time, it's not going to look the same.
Right. So that brings us to our fourth point, which is the hidden cost of staying the same. Mm, no way. No way, no way, no way. Why would you want to stay the same when you have this little, like, it probably is your intuition telling you, okay, let's take this first step. And literally, what does it actually cost to not act? With every decision you make, there is a consequence. So you don't get to choose the consequence.
And I don't think people really realize that. Literally, every choice we make every day has a consequence attached to it. Good, bad, right, wrong, it doesn't matter, but there is a consequence. You leave the light out, you bump your toe. You don't put gas in your car, you don't get to
Run
go
out of
anywhere.
gas. Right.
There's
You run
just
out of
so
gas.
many things, everything. A no, blah, blah, I can't even speak. A non-answer is your answer.
Mm-hmm.
So everything, there is a consequence, and you don't get to choose those.
Mm-mm. You stay in the same routine, you get the same results. Stay in the same environment, same mindset. Stay in the same relationship, same patterns. Wow, gosh. Oh, loss of confidence, like just not showing up for yourself. That's happened. That has happened to me before. And I'm sure that it's happened to everybody out there where you do not show up for yourself. You feel like, okay, I'm not even going to go there. And then quiet frustration. You're like frustrated because you know that you're ready to take that first step and you know that you're meant for more, but you're not doing it. Action, action, action.
Back over those steps, it just dawned on me that it literally is one and then another and then another and another. So the loss of confidence
Mm-hmm.
leads to quiet frustration within yourself. That quiet frustration is going to lead you towards resentment
Mm-hmm.
towards yourself or towards others.
Right?
And then that is going to cause you to shrink.
Yep.
So it is definitely a result in action, a behavior, a thought that creates your actions, create your behaviors to create your results right there. Loss of confidence, frustration, resentment, shrinking.
Drinking.
Those were good.
Yeah. Because you want to expand.
We
I
want to
know I want to
expand.
expand for sure. And so, definitely, the cost of staying the same in your current life is a life that you don't experience. Let me say that more.
Go for it. One more
Cost
time.
of cost of staying the same isn't just your current life, it's the life you don't experience. Start moving.
Or that first bite of that apple you were saying earlier.
That's it. Don't worry about eating the whole damn thing. Just
One bite.
one bite. Be honest with yourself. What is the one thing you know you've been putting off that would move your life forward? Drop that in the comments. Say it out loud. That is your first step. We would love for you to like us and subscribe. We are working on touching so many lives, so many women's lives out there, and this helps us to get our name out. So we appreciate you listening this week, and we will see you next week.